It's Veganuary day 14, yay! And today I want to discuss going vegan when your partner isn't going vegan, or being a vegan in a relationship with a non-vegan. Will your relationship survive? It's a really good question, and there's no simple answer, I'll be completely honest. There's no straight answer I can go yes or no, because it depends on a number of factors. But I wanted to talk about it today because it is an important one, and interestingly enough, my partner is not vegan. Okay, you might be a little bit shocked to hear that, but he's not. Okay, when I first went vegan, I was single, and I genuinely thought that I would not be interested in somebody if they weren't vegan. Okay, I'd be like, no, I couldn't do that. I could never date somebody who wasn't vegan. But life happens, as it does, and I ended up with somebody who is not vegan. Okay, and I won't go into the full story now, but it is important to note that you can still have a successful relationship with somebody who isn't necessarily vegan. Now, my other half, James, my long-suffering other half, he's not vegan. However, the important thing that makes our relationship work is that he is very respectful of my views and very supportive as well. In the house, I mean, I don't buy non-vegan food. Okay, he has his dairy, he has his cheese. He doesn't feel the need to buy meat products for himself because he's quite happy to eat whatever I cook. And I cook vegan, so he eats vegan. You know, he might have a little bit of grated cheese on top of his pasta that I've made with Linda McCartney sausages, but he's very, very happy to eat the food I eat because it's delicious. He doesn't have any issue with that at all. The only time he will really eat meat is if he goes out somewhere for a meal, or if he goes to a relative's house and, you know, they cook him a meal which might have meat in it, or other animal products. And at this point in time, he does still eat them, although he has said to me that he finds, personally, his own body tolerates it a lot less, and he's noticing that meat doesn't make him feel good. So it's a really interesting thing to watch his transition, and he does always say to me, I know I'm going to go vegan one day. I am going to do it. You know, I am going to do it. I've never told him he had to do it, you know, and I think that's the key in any relationship, is you don't own the other person and you don't get to tell them who they are and how to act. You know, we are adults, and we don't own the other person just because we're in a relationship with them. So it's really important, I feel, that people do things for the right reason. And trying to force your partner to go vegan if their heart isn't in it is just not going to work. It's just like trying to stop them smoking, trying to force them to stop smoking, or force them to stop drinking, or something else that you know is bad for them, but you want to help, but you can't force them to do it because they'll just do it secretly, or they'll do it away from you. Or it might put them off doing it altogether, because then you're going to create resistance, okay, by trying to force something on somebody. And that just rarely works long term. Like, you know, previously I was in a relationship with somebody and they stopped smoking because I wasn't smoking. And as soon as we broke up, they went back to smoking again. So what was the point? You know, they didn't stick at it. They did it for the wrong reasons. And I want people to go vegan, but I want them to do it for the right reasons so that they can stick at it, so they can stay vegan. Okay. And if one day James goes vegan, brilliant. And I think he will. He's nearly there. You know, he notices the difference in his body when he eats the vegan food, the plant foods that I give him. I cook most things from scratch. We eat very little junk food. And he feels really good in himself. He notices that, you know, when he works out his muscles, he bulks up faster than when he was eating meat. He notices all the health differences, you know, like going to the toilet. Poo is a big issue for vegans. You know, it's brilliant, you know, when you go vegan, you're very, very regular. It's wonderful. It really loosens everything up. Constipation isn't really a thing for us. And he notices all the good things, all the benefits. So he's kind of going through that himself at the moment now, going, oh yeah, this is really good. I should really do this. And it's interesting because he's not an animal person. He never has been. He's never really had pets that he connected with. And he's never been particularly interested in animals. So he wouldn't really do it from an ethical point of view. The environmental point of view and the health issues, you know, the health aspects of going vegan, they definitely chime with him, okay? And I think they will be the reasons that swing it for him in due course. But again, I'm not going to impose that on him because that's not my place. You know, I will inform, I will help, I will support, but it's not my place to impose that on him. Okay, that's my personal opinion. So having a relationship with a non-vegan, it relies very much on a lot of respect and boundaries. Okay, if you're just going vegan and your partner isn't, and you know they're still eating meat and dairy and what have you and eggs, they may not be completely on board with what you're doing. They may not be ready to do that. Okay, they may love it, they may be really interested, and they may be watching you as an example, but you will have to establish some rules about what works for you, and if you need changes, or if you're not happy to have certain products in the house anymore, you need to discuss that. You know, if you live together, you need to set down some rules of how it's going to work. I'm very lucky because James has always been very respectful to me. I've always been very respectful back, although I've made it very clear what I will and won't tolerate. And he will actually fight my battles for me, which is quite fun. I've sort of accidentally converted him to the point where he will fight my battles for me if we go out for food. If we're in a restaurant, he will actively go and ask them if they have vegan options for me if I'm feeling a bit shy that day. And he will tell them off if they don't. He will actually say, well, that's not very forward thinking of you. I say, you don't cater for vegans? Well, we can't eat here. And he will walk out. So that's nice, you know. It's really, really important that your partner is supportive, because if they're sort of trying to knock you down the whole time or tease you, it can make it really tedious. And this kind of change, because it's quite a big one, it throws up any issues that already exist in your relationship, and it will shine a light on those issues if there's a lack of respect already, or, you know, some issues in your relationship where it's not going so well. It will probably highlight them, and you will have to, you know, look at the relationship, look at if there are things you need to change, if there are ways you need to communicate better. You know, is it time for you to get in counselling together, or is it time for you to break up? You know, it will bring all of those issues to the fore. So it's a very interesting one. Can you be vegan with a non-vegan partner? Yes, you most certainly can, especially if you're doing it for health reasons, or for, you know, you might not like animals. You might not care about the environment. You might just have done it completely from a selfish point of view for your own health. In which case you're not going to be that bothered necessarily if your partner's vegan or not. You know, if you're an ethical vegan, then yeah, it may be a really, really big deal, and you're like, I can't live with you because you still kill animals. I try not to be a hypocrite about it, only because for a long, long time I ate animals. Okay, I consumed animal products. And it took me a while to get to the point where I realised that was wrong, and I got past my cognitive dissonance, you know, and I was like, yeah, personally, I would feel a hypocrite if I was to tell people off for doing exactly the same thing as I was doing, okay? Because I didn't think I was wrong either. You know, there are other ways to help educate people and inform people than shouting at them or putting them down. That is not how I work, okay? That approach works for some people. It's never worked for me, so I don't do it to other people. And I would feel hypocritical if I was to try and force other people to be vegan. That's my personal view. So yes, you absolutely can have a relationship with somebody who's not vegan if you are vegan. That's up to you. But you need to work out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And those things may change as time goes on. You may find a year down the line being with someone who's not vegan doesn't work anymore. And you may have to make some brave choices and have some very frank discussions with your partner. Or even, you know, you may find that you've come to the end of the road. So there's no straight answer to the question. Yes, you can, but equally it's possible that you don't want to, or it's not right with that particular person. But I don't think the vegan question is the main issue. It usually just flags up other issues in the relationship anyway, to do with a lack of respect. I mean, some vegans say to me, oh, I couldn't possibly kiss someone who eats meat because you know. Yeah, okay, well, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, but you don't have to leave your non-vegan partner just because you're vegan, okay? That's not the rule. Just to be clear, that's not the rule. You don't have to do that, okay? You will be surprised who you fall in love with. All right, we can't control that. And it's just a case of having a healthy relationship with boundaries and respect. And it does all come down to respect. So good luck in your relationships. If you're in a difficult relationship at the moment and you want to talk about it, leave a comment below. And ask me any questions that you want to know about what it's like as a vegan living with a non-vegan. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Remember to subscribe below. See you tomorrow.